What if the way you live today could affect a child who hasn't even been born yet? Not through stories, not through habits, but through biology. Think about your daily life for a moment. The stress you carry, the food you eat, the sleep you miss, the emotions you push aside. Most of us grow up believing the same thing. Our genes are fixed. You're born with them, you pass them on, and that's where the story ends. But what if it doesn't? What if your body is quietly paying attention to everything you experience, recording stress, safety, fear, and care in ways you never notice? And what if some of those records don't stop with you? Scientists are beginning to explore how long-term stress, trauma, and even everyday lifestyle choices may influence how genes behave, and how some of these changes might reach the next generation. So the question isn't just, how are you living today? It's, what might your life be preparing for someone who hasn't arrived yet? For most of our lives, we're taught a very simple story about genes. Imagine being handed a book at birth. Every page is already written. Your height, your eye color, your health risks. You didn't write it. You can't edit it. You can only read it. That's how most people think about DNA. Once you're born, the book is closed. No matter how stressful your life becomes, no matter how well or poorly you take care of yourself, the words inside stay the same. This belief quietly shapes how we see our future. If anxiety runs in the family, we expect it. If illness appears generation after generation, we assume it's unavoidable. Genes become fate, something inherited and accepted. For decades, even science supported this idea. DNA was seen as a permanent code, like ink on paper, passed down unchanged from parent to child. But there's a problem with this picture, because it treats the human body like a storage box, holding genes, but never responding to life. And if that were true, your experiences wouldn't matter nearly as much as they do. But what if that book was never sealed at all? What if your life doesn't rewrite the pages, but decides which ones are read and how loudly? That question leads us to a discovery that changed modern biology. What if everything we thought we knew about genes was only half the story? Scientists have discovered something incredible. Our genes aren't just fixed instructions. They have switches. They can be turned on, turned off, or dimmed and brightened, depending on what's happening in your life. Imagine your genes like a room full of light switches. Some lights shine bright, some are dim, some stay off, and the surprising part? The environment, stress, food, sleep, emotions can flick these switches in ways we're only beginning to understand. Your DNA letters never change, but the music it plays can change every day. Think of it like a piano. The keys are always there, but the melody you play depends on your choices, your experiences, your life. Even more fascinating, some of these switch settings can be passed on. Not the full book, not the ink on the page, but subtle signals about which genes to emphasize or quiet. This means the life you live today could quietly influence children who aren't even born yet. And here's the most exciting part: stress, diet, sleep, trauma. All of these everyday factors are like invisible hands, flipping your gene switches in real time. So the real question is, can the way we live today, the stress we feel, the food we eat, the sleep we skip, secretly shape the biology of the future? So, how exactly does your everyday life flick these gene switches? It turns out nearly everything you do, and even how you feel, can leave a mark. Stress is one of the biggest players. When you're constantly anxious or overwhelmed, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol. These hormones aren't just temporary signals. They can influence how certain genes behave, turning some switches up and others down. Sleep matters more than we realize. Skimping on rest or having irregular sleep patterns can signal your genes that your body is under threat. Over time, this can affect metabolism, immunity, and even emotional resilience. Nutrition is another powerful factor. What you eat sends messages to your cells. Nutrients can activate genes for energy, repair, or growth, while processed foods or toxins may silence other important genes. Even emotions and trauma can leave subtle marks. Joy, love, and safety may promote healthy gene expression, while chronic fear or unresolved trauma can flip switches in the opposite direction. Here's the key. It's not about perfection. Your genes aren't punished for mistakes, and a single stressful day won't make permanent changes. But long-term patterns, the habits, the environment, the repeated stressors can gradually shape how your genes respond. Think of it like a garden. Your DNA is the soil, and your daily choices are the sunlight, water, and care. Some habits nourish healthy growth, while neglect or stress allows weeds to take over. Over time, the garden changes, and it's these changes that may influence the next generation. So every meal, every hour of sleep, every emotional experience, they're quietly sending signals to your genes, telling them which switches to turn on, which to dim, and sometimes which patterns to pass on. So far, we've seen how stress, sleep, food, and emotions can flick your gene switches. But here's the part that really makes you pause. Some of these changes don't stop with you. Scientists are discovering that certain gene switch patterns can be passed to children, even ones who haven't been born yet. Imagine this. Your body writes tiny notes about your life experiences and tucks them into the next generation's blueprint. Not the full story, not the entire DNA, but subtle hints, like turning some switches up and others down. Historical studies show this in striking ways. For example, children of people who endured famine sometimes showed changes in metabolism or stress responses, as if the body had left a biological warning for the next generation. Even trauma can have echoes. Some research suggests that extreme stress in parents can leave subtle marks on their children's gene expression. It's not destiny, it's influence, a whisper from one generation to the next. Think of it like passing a musical score instead of a full book. You don't hand down every note you ever played, but the melody, the patterns, the rhythm, those hints can guide the next generation's song. This is why your choices, habits, and emotional health matter so much. The life you live today doesn't just affect you. It may quietly shape the biology of children who haven't even arrived yet. And that's exactly why epigenetics is changing how we think about life, health, and the invisible connections between generations. All of this might sound like science fiction, but researchers have been uncovering real-world evidence that it's very real. One striking example comes from history: the Dutch hunger winter during World War II. People who experienced famine had children whose metabolism and stress responses were different. Even decades later, it's as if the body had left a biological warning, a survival message for the next generation. Animal studies show similar patterns. Rats exposed to stress or toxins often had offspring with altered behavior or health outcomes. These experiments help scientists see exactly how gene switches respond to life experiences. Even in modern life, subtle patterns appear. Chronic stress, poor nutrition, or environmental toxins can leave measurable marks on genes. These aren't guarantees. They don't write your child's fate, but they do influence tendencies and responses. And it's not all bad news. Positive experiences, nurturing environments, and healthy habits can also send good notes to the next generation. Loving care, regular sleep, balanced nutrition, and stress management can promote healthy gene expression, not just for you, but potentially for your children. Think of it like a garden again. Neglect and harsh conditions may let weeds take root, but sunlight, water, and care help healthy plants thrive. Some of that growth may leave seeds for the next garden, the next generation. The takeaway is clear. Science is showing that our daily lives, our choices, and our environment aren't just shaping us. They may quietly echo into the future. Now that we understand how our daily lives can influence our genes and potentially the next generation, the question becomes, what can we actually do about it? The good news is, it's not about perfection. You don't have to live flawlessly, and a single stressful day won't determine your child's future. Small, consistent habits matter more than grand gestures. Eating balanced meals, getting enough sleep, managing stress, and caring for your emotional health are not just good for you. They may quietly shape the biology of your future children. Think of it as leaving gentle footprints. Each choice, each habit, each moment of care adds up over time, nudging your gene switches in a positive direction. And it goes beyond your body. Your emotions, the love and support you share, even your mindset can create an environment that encourages healthy gene expression. This perspective changes how we think about self-care. It's not selfish. It's not just about feeling better today. It's about creating a ripple effect that could last generations. Every meal you eat, every hour of sleep you prioritize, every moment of calm or joy. These are small but meaningful ways to shape your own biology and potentially leave a healthier legacy for children yet to come. As fascinating as this science is, it's easy to misunderstand it, and that can make it feel scary or overwhelming. Myth number 1, everything I do will harm my children. Not true. Daily stress or occasional mistakes don't rewrite your child's biology. It's about long-term patterns, not single events. Myth number 2, genes are destiny. We're not powerless. Genes have switches, remember? Our experiences and habits influence how those switches behave, giving us room to change outcomes, not just inherit fate. Myth number 3, I need to be perfect. No one is perfect. Even small positive steps, better sleep, balanced meals, moments of calm, can make a difference. The truth is, your life today matters, but it's not a source of guilt. It's a source of awareness, a chance to make choices that benefit you and potentially ripple into the future. Understanding these myths lets us approach epigenetics with curiosity, not fear, and with the freedom to focus on what really matters: our daily habits, emotional health, and well-being. We started this journey asking a simple question: can the way you live today quietly influence children who aren't born yet? Now you know the answer is possibly. Your daily habits, your stress, your sleep, your emotions, all of these can flick switches in your genes, and some of those changes might ripple into the next generation. But here's the most important part. This isn't meant to create guilt or fear. It's a reminder that your life matters, not just for you, but potentially for the future. Every meal you eat, Every moment of calm, every kind thought, even small acts of self-care. These are the subtle choices that shape biology and legacy alike. You may never see the full impact. You may never know the ripples your life creates. But the awareness gives you power. Power to live consciously. Power to make choices that honor both yourself and the generations to come. So pause, reflect, and ask yourself, what small choices can I make today that might leave a healthier, happier mark on the future? If this video gave you a new perspective on how life, choices, and even small habits can quietly shape the future, take a moment to pause and reflect. Think about one small step you can take today. Whether it's resting well, managing stress, eating mindfully, or simply being kinder to yourself. And if someone you care about might benefit from this insight, share this video with them. For more videos that explore the fascinating ways science connects our daily lives, emotions, and choices, subscribe to the channel and join our journey of understanding how life really works. Without fear, without guilt, and with curiosity and hope.